Good morning. Welcome to Higher Horizons. Today we'll be talking about transitioning to college and staying motivated. So all the things you need to know about FE College, Further Education College, and actually getting ready for it, making the right decision for you, really. So let's move to the first slide for me. Okay, so today is a bit of a three-pronged attack. We've got some guests in today who have experienced college, have worked and tutored at a college, and then I will sort of kick off first of all with my experiences of being a lifelong attendee of further education college courses, but also having 12 years experience working within a college environment. So I've kind of got a little bit of a bird's eye view of both sides of it, really. So let's go through. So today's session, we're going to explore further education college as an option and the types of courses available. We're going to hear from our tutor Laura, who can tell us a little bit about what you need to plan, prepare, and what to be expected of you at FE College, and that's from a tutor's perspective. And then we've got Kieran, who's going to tell us a little bit about his experience, about what college is really like, and we'll go from there. We can answer any questions through whatever you've got to find out a little bit about, because you've got three college experts with you. Next slide, please, Kieran. Okay, so how does college support the needs of the industry? Well, further education colleges contributes to a workforce that is highly skilled, highly motivated, more productive, and has industry relevant training, which contributes billions to the economy and makes you and industry internationally competitive. Further education college can offer the same benefit really in terms of doing A levels as you can get at sixth form, but the difference between that is college is just a slightly different environment. Many FE colleges have specialised departments that mimic a corporate environment. They might have laboratories, hairdressing salons, restaurants on site. They might have a small farm, vehicle repair garages, and I've been to one college, which I think is Cheshire North College. They've got an inside of an aircraft, so that's quite interesting. Next slide, please, Kieran. So when you're thinking about making the options, you've got to think about the sort of questions you've got to have to ask yourself. Firstly, do you perform well in exams? That's going to dictate whether you go for something A-level orientated or vocational orientated, and that will really dictate what you want to do, whether you want to stay on and do A-level or whether you're looking to do something a little bit different. So would you prefer your coursework to be practical, or do you have a specific career in mind already? Would you be interested in learning a vocational course? That could be something like motor vehicle, trades like brick trowel trades or carpentry, or even hairdressing or beauty. Have you thought about running a business? Have you started to think about what subjects you would like to study? Are you thinking about going to university? All these questions are going to be very relevant for you making your decision on whether you go to do A-level and go through the traditional route to university, or go through FE environment and choose an alternative route to either work or to further training. You don't need to know the answers to these questions now or by the end of this session, but you do need to think about what it is that you want to do, because this is your life and you'll be doing the exams or you will be doing the training. Let's move on to the next slide, please, Kieran. So I've got a little bit of a qualifications ladder here. So it just goes through the different levels. So anything below level 1 is what we call entry level. So you've got entry level 3 is the highest level that you'll come in at before you start to get to level 1. So level 1 is the equivalent to GCSE school 1 to 3, or grade 1 to 3. Level 2 is the equivalent to GCSE 4 to 9. Level 3 is A levels and vocational levels. Level 4 is certificate of HE. So for me, going into education, my sort of start course was what we call a certificate in education. So that's what I started at. Foundation degree is level 5, or you can have diploma or HNC, HND, higher national certificate, higher national diploma. Then you've got a bachelor's degree, which is either BA, BSc. You could do a top-up year if you've done HNC and HND. Level 7 is master's degree, so that could be MA, MSc, MPhil, MEd. So MEd is Master of Education, MSc Master of Science, MA Master of Art, MPhil Master of Philosophy, and level 8 is a doctorate or PhD. And we've got different apprenticeship levels as well. So we've got the apprenticeship levels that cover all of those. You can go right up to level 7 and through an apprenticeship route. So it's really worth having a little look at apprenticeships as an option for you. And colleges are brilliant with apprenticeships, so definitely worth a look. With the apprenticeship stages, you have intermediate, which is sort of towards the bottom end, and then you have advanced, which is in the middle. And then you have higher and degree, which is level 6, 7 and above. Yeah. Next slide, please, Kieran. Okay, so what do further education colleges offer? Well, they are usually quite big organisations, and you can find that they're split over several campuses. They do cover a wide range of subject areas, and they have a mixture of academic and vocationally based qualifications. When we say academic, we mean things like GCSE, A-level, and vocational are things like your hairdressing, anything that is work related will get you into that work arena. So like motor vehicle, horticulture, equine studies. So whatever it is you are interested in, there is going to be a vocational qualification within a college for you. There are specialist colleges as well, things that are like agricultural colleges, business colleges, engineering colleges. So definitely think about what you want and definitely research. Excuse me, I've got a frog. Okay, so offer a stronger emphasis on what is technical levels and subjects. So definitely engineering, things that like that are very much in demand. So they do sort of really do put a lot of emphasis into those areas and making sure that you have the best facilities available. You can start college at very entry level. So if you don't particularly find that you're academic, but much like myself, I was not academic at all. And actually FE has got me to a much higher level over the years. So I've done a lot of courses, but you can start at entry level. So if you don't do very well in your GCSEs, it is not the end of the world. You can go to college and study vocationally. That means it's taking the exams out of it, and you can start to do things like coursework and work your way through and up. You've got specialist provision available in certain areas. So they offer special educational needs, what we call SEN. We've also got ESOL, so we have students that speak other languages that are coming in to learn English. I used to get my nails done every day by the SEN group when I worked at Burton College, and it was lovely. So I used to spend my lunchtime having my nails painted and having hand massages, which was great, and they loved it as well, and they were learning, so it was really good. There's also things like college in the community. Anybody of any age can do a college course. There's lots of adult and leisure-based courses, and they're usually lots of fun. Could be things like pottery, could be cooking, could be life drawing, it could be anything. So whatever you can think of, they do it. Enterprise links. So there's usually a separate entity for businesses to come in and use the college facility for doing specific courses or training. So this could be things like Institute of Leadership Management courses, what we call ILM, or it could be something around the region of first aid, health and safety, something that trains the workforce to achieve certain qualifications. Also as well, there's apprenticeships. Now apprenticeships are a big part of FE, and if going into a college or going into sixth form is not for you, a college is a great port of call. They will help you find placements and help you with training as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So why does it differ a little bit from sixth form? I never went to sixth form, so I'm not an expert. but I am told that it's smaller than FE colleges because it's your school or a school. A different curriculum offers depending on the school. Some do the traditional A levels and others may do a mixture of A level and vocational. There is a progression internally, but more likely to be open to some external students, so you can go to an alternative school. It is kind of very much a school delivery model, so you'll be very much expected to follow the same procedures as you would do when you were at school. You may have to wear a sixth form uniform and you'll follow a very structured timetable. Next slide, please. Okay, so I just wanted to go through visually some of the different courses that are available. So you've got things like hairdressing, barbering, beauty, nails. You've got esports. I didn't even know esports was a thing, but you can do a degree in esports at Staffordshire University. Apparently it's massive. So they do entry-level esports right up to a degree if you wanted to. So there are progression pathways for that. So that's at the top there. Then you've got things like early years. You've got elderly, dementia, palliative care. So that's caring for people at their end of life, or elderly care or dementia. You've got health and social care. You've got counselling, you've got pharmacy, you've got dental nursing, gas, electrician, you've got motor vehicle, you've got construction trades, you've got engineering, you've got business, accountancy, you've got law, you can do public service, which is a really good one for getting into any of the armed forces or into the emergency services as well. So that's a really good one if you're looking at that. You've got things like business administration, you've got sports, coaching, leisure, you've got hospitality, you've got that one there with the aircraft is aviation. You can do a course in aviation, you can do airline ticketing or sort of being a air steward as well. They do courses on that. So we've got sciences, biology, chemistry, we've got photography. Again, trowel trades, we've got fashion, textiles, pottery, whatever you want to do. And then there's things like IT and technical sort of vocational courses on there. So there's so much, and that is only just a little snapshot of what's on offer. So there are so many opportunities out there, and it's definitely worth reviewing. If you are not planning on staying at school, or if you're looking at something a little bit different, then FE college might be a great option, but do your research, because if there is something you are passionate about, there is something for you. Next slide, please, Kieran, before I wrap up. Okay, so things that you can do to prepare. So consider all the options available, even if you have set an idea. Ask all the questions, ask careers advisors, ask family, ask friends, ask teachers, but just remember, it's your decision. Try to visit as many organisations as you can. Now, I know with COVID that's not easy, but once restrictions start to lift, it'll be back to hopefully a little bit more normality. So do visit sixth forms, do visit colleges, do go and have a look around university campuses. Think about what it is that you would like to do, and then plan all the routes to go in that way. It could be that you go traditional A-level route, or you could go through college, but still go to university or work. Do attend any apprenticeships events. Now, we have a National Apprenticeships Week, which was last week. Please also make use of websites and do your own research, which I've said over and over again. Next slide, please, Kieran. Now, my own advice to you, as somebody who did not do very well at school and has still maintained a fantastic, interesting career and very much an ambassador for lifelong learning. I've been to so many college courses, it's untrue. So research all your options and seek advice. Remember, mum, dad, teachers want the very best for you, but it is your choice. You will be the one that sits an exam. You will be the one that has to do the work. You will be the one attending in the rain, in the dark, in the winter. It'll be you. Always know that you've always got a plan B. That is my advice. I'm going to hand over to my wonderful colleague Laura, who's going to tell you all things about, from her side, what's expected of you in a college and how you can prepare yourself for getting ready for it. Thanks.
Thank you, Sally, for that. Yes, so my name's Laura. And I used to lecture at several further education colleges. So my talk today, my sort of part of this presentation, is a bit about things that you can do to get prepared sort of from a teacher side of it, and some things that you might not have already thought about. So first thing to think about when you're looking to pick your college is your travel and your transport. So where is the college that you're looking to apply, and how easy is it for you to get there, and how are you going to get there? So what you need to be thinking about is, on a cold, wet sort of Friday morning in the winter, is it going to be easy for you to still get there for your 9 o'clock lecture? Are you going to be getting a bus? Are you going to be getting a lift? If you are going to be getting a lift with somebody, will that lift always be available to you at different times throughout the day potentially? You want to make it so that it's not difficult for you to access college at the very different times that you might be in, remembering that you'll probably start around sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock, and your lectures might go on to around 4:30. Then, like Sally said, there's a whole range of different courses that are available at FE colleges. Vocational courses, BTEC courses, A-level courses. So make sure you pick the subject and the type of course that works for you. So think about exams, about whether you're happy with terminal exams at the very end of 2 years, or whether you want something that's a bit coursework based. You might choose to do a mix and match of subjects and a mix of match of types of courses to split that up for you. Also, extracurricular activities. Lots and lots of colleges offer lots of extracurricular activities like sports clubs, drama clubs, music clubs. So is there something that you're already interested in that might be on offer at a certain college but not at another college? So have a look on colleges' websites, have a look at the extracurricular activities that are on offer, and that might sway you in one way or another. Next slide, please, Kieran. Brilliant. So getting prepared before you start your course. So you've now thought about your college that you want to go to, and you've picked that, and you've probably applied. You've thought about the type of course that you want to do, the subjects that you want to study, put in your application form, had your interview, and you're all ready to go. Next things to think about in the coming few months is your working space. So you're going to have lots of work to do outside of your normal lectures. So where are you going to do that? Are you going to have a working space at home? So have you got somewhere at home that you can potentially have your notes, keep your books, store your bag, that type of thing? Have you got a desk maybe in your room or in a study or an office that you can work at? Or are you going to work at college? Colleges all have libraries, often called learning resource centres. They have study spaces, they have skills areas that you can go to and that you can work at. So you might be a case that you decide that you're going to do all of your work within college in and around your study time. So have a think about where you're going to work, where's going to work for you, and start sort of setting up that area. That leads on to equipment. So you need to stay organised. So you need to think about your sort of pens, pencils, paper, folders. Are you going to have one folder with dividers in for all of your subjects? Are you going to have a different folder for each subject? How easy is that going to be to carry to college with you every day? The more you stay organised and on top of your notes and where you're going to keep them, the easier it will be when you come to revise or come to do any assignment work, and you won't feel a bit overwhelmed with a big pile of paper that's sort of built up in front of you. Also, you might have a part-time job. You might already have a part-time job before you go to college, or you might be thinking of getting one when you're at college. So have a think about what sort of days and hours work for you. If you already have a part-time job, you might want to speak to them saying that you're looking at that you've applied to college, and you might say that your hours might need to change at work, and you can start having those discussions already. You could start asking your work if they want you to work different hours when you're potentially at college. You might be getting a bit older, there might be other types of jobs that you can do at work. So that's something to think about and potentially have a conversation if you already do have a job, or something to think about if you go for any interviews for part-time jobs between now and starting college. When you have applied and you've been offered a place and accepted, there's a good chance that the courses that you've applied for might want you to do some prep work or some summer work to get you ready to start the course. So make sure that you spend time doing that and that it's complete. Don't leave it until the night before. I know it's really, really easy to do, but have a look at it when they send it to you. Check your emails, communicate back if you're a bit unsure, and have a go with it, because that will set you up ready to get started at college and get started on the courses that you have chosen to do. Next slide, please, Kieran. And then a really important one, when you start college, looking after yourself. So make sure that to sort of prep for this, you can start to think about the courses. Make sure you pick the one that works the best for you. If you know that you get really stressed by exams, or you really struggle with exams and worry about them a lot and they make you anxious, try to pick a course with less exams in that will take the pressure off you. That's something that you can do in preparation, sort of help your mental health and to help your well-being when you're at college. Make sure you add some study time into your timetable and stick to it. So your timetable, unlike school, you'll probably have gaps or study time within your timetable where you're not in a lesson. Now, you're unlikely to want to go home during these times. It might be you don't want to get a bus back home and then a bus back into college an hour later. So you might want to fill this time and say, I'm going to use that hour there on a Monday to go and do my assignment work. This is a really good opportunity as well to meet up with any friends that you have within the college that maybe aren't on your courses, and you can do that together. So you can both say, right, on a Monday at 10 o'clock when we don't have a lesson, we always go together to the Learning Resource Centre to do some work, to do this revision or to do these past paper questions or to do this assignment. It's really good to get into a really good pattern, a work pattern, and to stick to it. And it's definitely something you can do with friends, and it's a really nice opportunity to meet up with people in the college that maybe aren't on your course that you're doing. There are lots of people within colleges and outside of colleges to help and support you. If you've got any worries while you're there, when you've started your course, about the courses that you've picked, about your time at college, about anything that's happening outside of college, you will have personal tutors, there will be college counsellors, there will be student support services. They are all there for you to talk to if you have any concerns, and there is always something that they can do to help. And it leads me into sort of the last point when you're at college. College is hard work and there'll be lots to do, and it'll be very different to school, but in a really, really good way. And it's really important to work hard, but give yourself regular breaks and make sure that you don't let your work build up, because that's when it can get a bit stressful and a little bit overwhelming. But that's when people are there. So don't worry if you have let things build up a little bit. Don't worry if you haven't filed your notes away for a few weeks and it feels a bit stressful. Speak to someone about it and they'll be able to sit with you, spend some time, sort everything out, then you can move forward from that point. So work hard, but also make sure you get a rest and relax. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass over now to Kieran, one of our Higher Horizons officers, and he's going to talk you through a really good example of his journey through college and the things that he sort of looks back and thinks about now and the choices that he made. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Hello. Yes, I'm going to talk to you through my college experience, which wasn't the simplest of experiences nor the most straightforward. So I think the big thing is when you're at GCSE, and definitely when I was at GCSE, I just thought, yeah, you do your GCSEs, you go to A levels, you get those, you go to uni, you get those, you get a job. That is a very easy way to do things. And it's just not true, because there are about 1,000,001 different things you'll be thinking about between A-levels and university and GCSEs and just everything in between. So in saying that, these were some of the things I was thinking about at both GCSE and A-levels. So there's a secondary school, Kieran, so bright and happy and full of adventure. But at secondary school, the main sort of things I was thinking about at the time were my friends and thinking about what they were going to do and where they were going to go for sixth form and college, and wanting to maintain those social connections. That was quite a big thing for me. I was also thinking a lot about advice my parents would be giving to me at the time. I wasn't really, after doing GCSEs, you've got 11 different teachers or so from different subjects talking to you about things, but so you usually kind of focus on what your parents usually say to you at the end. But I also did have some misconceptions about sixth form and even university at this point. I thought the jump from GCSEs to sixth form was going to be massive and that they don't help you when you're there and it's all independent learning. And these were all ideas I had in my head which were just simply not true. And then at college, my kind of thought patterns changed a little bit. I was looking at academic interests more, because you obviously go from 11 subjects to doing 3 or 4 really in depth, and it changed my kind of perception. Rather than thinking about 11 different things and revising that way, I could really focus on the topics I found interesting and the subjects I found interesting. There was also less teachers I interacted with, but therefore I interacted with them more. So particularly my politics teacher at A-level was absolutely lovely, and she gave me lots of advice about future plans and university choices and all the above. She was one of those teachers you could just go and ask any sort of question to, and you make those connections at college. Equally though, even after college, which may sound like a while away, you then obviously get to university and beyond, and you think about all of these things still, all of these things. You're listening to your tutors, you're listening to your lecturers, but also things that just are constant. Things like mental health is a massive one that I was been thinking about since GCSE all the way to university and beyond. And it's just really important to, think of all these different factors. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're sitting there thinking this is really hard, there's lots of things I need to think about, and you're a bit overwhelmed, that's absolutely okay. Everyone is. And that leads me on to kind of saying it's okay to feel a little bit lost. The reason why my A-level journey was particularly not as straightforward as I would have liked is that I went into it with the completely wrong mindset. I went into it thinking, what subjects should I do? What subjects would get me a job potentially, or that would be the right decisions for the future, and a bunch of misconceptions like that. And with that, I picked maths, physics, biology, and history. Did I like maths, physics, and biology? Not particularly, but I just thought they were really good subjects to get me a good job. And I did history as a kind of something to balance it out a little bit, because I really enjoyed history. And I failed 3 out of the 4 of those subjects, and I think you can guess which ones they were. So luckily I got a second chance and I could restart, and it kind of was a world-crashing moment. I was thinking, oh my god, my university dreams are dashed. What am I going to do now? And I just kind of had to pick myself up and start again. But this time I wanted to think about, well, what subjects do I want to do? And I completely changed my outlook, and I went from doing the subjects before to politics, ancient history, and history, because I love the humanities and those are the things I'm really interested in. And surprise, surprise, when you do subjects you enjoy, you do really well. And I worked really hard. I loved the subjects I was doing, and I got all 5 of my university offers and then went on to go to university. But there wasn't a plan necessarily. I wasn't thinking, what should I do after these subjects, or where should I even go to university, and what about after university? I wasn't asking myself these questions. I was taking things one step at a time. So if you are sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm doing next week, let alone for the next 3 years of my life, that's absolutely okay. It's okay to not have a plan. It's okay to just take things one little step at a time, and I would encourage you to do that. Just take things, as they come, and focus on the immediate thing in front of you. If you have a plan and you know exactly what you want to do in the future, and you just need help on how to get there, that's also brilliant, because there'll be plenty of people along the way who can help you in that regard. But it's kind of also echoing what Sally said before. It's okay to start late, start over. It's okay to be unsure about things, try things out, have them not go too well. It doesn't mean you still can't succeed. If I kind of wrote myself off after that first initial failing of those subjects, then I wouldn't have gone to university or done all the things I did afterwards. My experience was different and rocky and very, very kind of personal to me, and that is not going to be the same for anyone else. I could tell you everything about my college and everything I did, but most of that won't fit into your experience, because it will completely be dependent on what course you do, and the subjects you love to do. Where you are. You might choose to stay at the institution that you're in if they've got a sixth form added onto the school, or you might choose to go to a different college. Like Laura said, if you've got a part-time job, that will also affect your time studies and your life in that regard. I think one of the big things I want you to take away is to, again, just not worry about not having a plan. Focus on the next couple of steps, and everything will genuinely be okay. Don't worry about where your friends are going and that sort of side of stuff, because college is a massively social place, and you will make connections and you will keep in touch. Like Laura said, in study periods, me and my friends group would have this one table, which, if it was kind of an unwritten rule, if we were free or on a study period, we would go to that table and we would either sit there and kind of take a break in between lectures and lessons, or we would sit there and kind of take our work out, do some work in between while we had some time. But it would just be the place we congregate, and it was a very social thing and a big part of my college experience, and you will also have plenty of things like that too. But that is a little bit about my experience. Try not to worry. I know I keep saying it, but yeah, everything does work out, and if I got this far, you can absolutely go much, much further. So just believe in yourselves. And I think that comes to the end of my little section. I don't know if we had any questions, guys, come in.
We have. I've got a question. Yeah. Okay. I'm guessing this is to all of us. What is your favourite thing about college? So, Kieran, if you go first.
Oh, okay. My favourite thing about college, I think, was definitely, it's kind of a two-parter. I loved the subjects I did in the second half of my college experience, because I started doing politics and I absolutely loved it, and my teacher was really encouraging, and I went on to do it at university because I enjoyed it so much. But also the people, the social aspect of college, and just those little moments, because I think like Laura said, college is a very stressful time. A-levels are very stressful, and it's just nice to have those little bits in between where you talk with friends or play cards at the cafeteria table in between lessons, or even just working with your friends in that same sort of space is just, yeah, that was a massive help for me, because you were in it together with other people, and it was a big part of my experience. I always looked forward to getting to that table in between lectures and seeing my friends and working with them, or playing some board games that someone had brought in on the day.
Amazing. What about you, Laura? What do you think? As somebody who's employed at a college in a lecturing capacity, what do you think is your favourite thing about college?
For me, I think it's the added sort of freedom and flexibility that the students have to sort of take ownership of their own learning. So whereas when you're at GCSE, you're sort of in for a full school day, you have lessons all the sort of 6 or 5 lessons a day and sort of set break times. At college, you obviously might have a lesson in the morning and then you might not have any in the afternoon, or you might have some sort of all in the afternoon, maybe one in the morning. You've got some space around that time, and that's a time for students to start to decide what they want to do in that time and make different decisions. They might find that on a Monday they like to go into the library and do some extra work. They might find that on a Tuesday there's a support session for one of their subjects that they go to, but it's their choice. And I really like the fact that it gives students a chance to take a bit of ownership, have some control and choose their own path, really.
Amazing, sounds really good. For me, both I think I'm going to come at this from somebody who's done lots of different courses, and when I say lots, I've done things like floristry, for which I did my own wedding flowers, and that was everything, the whole lot, the bouquets, the buttonholes, the table decorations, everything. And I learnt those skills from college, and I actually then taught my 2 friends the day before my wedding everything that I'd learned on that floristry course. I've done things like sports massage, I've done Indian head massage, I've done Swedish massage, I've done anatomy and physiology, I've done like short courses like cooking courses, I've done business, I've done counselling, all these things that I've done and I've done over years, and everything was for fun. I remember doing a barbering course for fun, and it was great because all my male friends were like, can you cut my hair? Can you cut my hair? So it was really good fun. And I think for me, I'm going to echo Kieran, it's all the friends I've made. I've got friends from college when I was about 17, and I'm still in touch with them now. So I'm in my 40s, so you can imagine how long that's been. And they become lifelong friends. I particularly remember one time I started a college course late, and it was sports massage, and you're pretty much straight into massaging on each other because it was very practical, and it was lots of movements and positioning, and all these people were sort of all set up and they'd already established their groups and their cliques, and it was really weird. And there was a lot of sort of older people in the room. They were like middle-aged people. I was a lot younger then. And literally by probably about my 2nd session in, we were like getting our clothes off, getting on the bed, getting a massage. It was lots of touching. So it's that, obviously that's really weird and really intimate, but it's so professional, and you just meet these people and they are from all walks of life and they are fantastic. You meet some really amazing people at college. I have loved my time. I'm always looking for the next course to do. And I cannot wait till it's lifted because I do a lot of leisure courses. So that's me really. Have we got any more questions in? Has anybody got a question off our panel? No, we're all
yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, Sally. Yeah, there's one more question. About somebody's got sort of wants to do 2 different types of courses. Is that possible at college?
Very much so, yeah. I'm pretty sure you can do sort of one after the other, or you could do, if they don't clash, you could probably look at doing 2. It depends on obviously the amount of learning hours that you'll have on course. If you're doing something like that's more of a short sort of part-time evening course, you could probably coincide that with another course that you're doing. I have done 2 courses together. I did anatomy and physiology and Swedish massage together. They were both year-long courses, and they were both one evening or afternoon. Well, my Swedish massage was an evening course, and my anatomy and physiology was a day-long course, and that was for an academic year. So I did the 2 together rather than staggering it over 2 years. I just bit the bullet and went for it, and I loved it. I met some really lovely people on both courses.
Brilliant, thank you, Sally.
That's it. That's lovely. Please make sure, if you've got any questions, that you get in touch with us through higherhorizons.co.uk/ask. All of these broadcasts that we're doing twice a week are either live or they are on our YouTube channel, Higher Horizons. please have a little look. We've got some great advice on there. We've got lots of academics, lots of guest speakers, lots of different universities. We are here to help and advise you. Please use us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.